king of my heart. Nothing else satisfies, only you, Lord. You are my best thought by day or by night. Waking or sleeping, your presence, my light. Treasure you are. High King of heaven, when victory's won, may I reach heaven's joy, your bright heaven's sun. Heart of my own heart, whatever before, still be my vision, oh ruler of all. Heart of my own heart, whatever before, still be my vision, oh ruler of You, my God, have saved my soul. I am yours forevermore. I won't be moved of this, I'm sure. You are my God and you saved my soul. I was lost when you came for me, held in chains by the enemy, but you broke them in victory. Now I'm free, I am free. You're my joy and you are my hope. I am saved by your grace alone. I will sing of your love for me. I am free, I am free. You, my God, have saved my soul. I am yours forevermore. I won't be moved of this, has paid for my every sin, and from now through eternity I am free, I am free. You, my God, have saved my soul. I am yours forevermore. I won't be moved of this, I'm sure. You, my God, and you saved my soul. Was dead is now alive. You gave to me the breath of life. You brought me up out from the grave. I'm bursting out with songs of praise. What once was dead is now alive. You gave to me the breath of life. You brought me up out from the grave. I'm bursting out with songs of praise. I'm bursting out with songs of praise. I'm bursting out with songs of praise. You, my God, have saved my soul. I am yours forevermore. I won't be moved of this, I'm sure. You, my God, and you saved my soul. Save my soul. I am yours forevermore. I won't be moved of this, I'm sure. You, my God, you save my soul. Every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, a name above every other. Jesus, the only one who could ever save, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. Holy, holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my love to those around me.
There we go. All right, let me know in the chat if you can see me and if you can hear me. Both of those things are going to be important tonight. I think I'm being seen. Am I being heard? Let me know in the chat. Indeed, both. Perfect. Happy New Year, everybody. It's good to see you in the chat. So far, I have seen people like the Conleys, the Starks. I have seen Sarah, David, Jared, and Alyssa. I've seen, who else is here? I see Lily. Dolan was one of the first people. Noel. If you are here, put your name in the chat. I would love to be able to say hello. The Smiths are here. Perfect. Awesome. Welcome, everybody, to our first Teen Life of the new year. And let me tell you, we got some great things planned for you tonight. So much so that we broke the computer. That's how great tonight is going to be. We are going to introduce a new series to you. We are going to have our first lesson of that series. We have a game unlike any that we've done before. I don't even know if it's going to work. That's how new this game is. I have an exciting announcement for you. I got another thing I want to tell you about that's going to be coming up. There's so much going on tonight. So I must say Happy New Year to everybody. George as well. I didn't see you before. Thomas, Caleb, Sonia, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. One of the first things that we would normally do is play a game, but we're going to actually do that a little bit later. So we're going to introduce a series, play a game, and then have the lesson time. Break it up a little bit and give me a little bit more time to set up the game for tonight, because it's not going to be your classic stand and point kind of game. First of all, that doesn't work online. Second of all, it's time to mix it up a little bit with a brand new year. At least I think so. So here's what we're going to do. The very first thing we're going to do of Teen Life in 2022 is surprise you with an announcement. Check this out. That's right. Insomnia is coming back in 2022 on March 11th. We are hosting our infamous all-nighter. We were blessed to have enough adult volunteers reach out and say they wanted to help make it an all-nighter. So we are making it an all-nighter for you, but mostly, and this is very important for all of us to remember, this is an outreach. We use this as a fun opportunity for us to build relationships with lost people and share the gospel with people in our community. Since it's in our church, though, the only way that our community is going to be there is if you invite. So one of the reasons we're announcing it so early is we are giving you ample time to reach out to lost people that you know and invite them to come. Invite them to come play games, eat pizza, have a breakfast in the morning, and hear the gospel throughout the night. It's going to be a great time. We'll share bits and pieces as we get closer of who's going to be there, like Grog will definitely make an appearance this year. But all the other details we'll share as we get closer. So be inviting. We're also going to do a couple things along the way this year as we get ready for that March 11th date, like hanging posters, handing out flyers, and things like that. But be ready to be inviting people. The whole point of this is that we would make even more disciples of Jesus Christ. We want to see our friends and our family put their faith and trust in Jesus. And we're hoping that an all-nighter like this, with all the fun and the excitement, will be an opportunity to share the gospel with them and that they would accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior. That's why we do it. So whatever questions you might have or suggestions that you have for Insomnia, put it in the chat, because my plans are frequently based off of what you guys think. So if you don't want to do Insomnia, you can tell me and I just won't put the time and money into it. If you're excited though, I want to hear about it. And if you want to play a specific game, now is a perfect opportunity to put that in the chat as well. I want to hear what you think. There's one other thing that I'm very excited to be telling you about, and it's something that is an old tradition for Teen Life that we haven't done in years. And honestly, I couldn't tell you why. I don't know. I just thought about it again there, and I can't think of a reason. Here's what it is, though. It is open gym, or what we're calling big game night. On the third-ish Wednesday of every month, we're going to clear out all the technology and get all the chairs out of the way after Teen Life, and we're going to stay open later so that we can play a big game together. So what we're going to do is on January, what is the date? Let me double check. I don't want to get it wrong. On January 19th, we're going to have our first new big game night with a big old game of dodgeball, and we'll have some snacks there for you as well. So as soon as small groups are done on that week, that's 2 weeks from now, we'll play a massive game of dodgeball and then head home a little bit later than normal. So if you are picked up normally on those nights, on Wednesday nights for Teen Life, be sure to tell whoever is going to be picking you up that you're going to be staying a little bit later. We'll plan on closing up shop around 8:45 or 9 o'clock, somewhere in there. So if you're looking for someone to come pick you up, tell them that time. It'll be a little bit different every month, but we want that time to be able to run around and have a good time together with some bigger games than we can normally do with everything set up. Those are our 2 big announcements. I want to see if there's anybody else that I missed. I'm seeing a lot of discussion about Insomnia. I'm very excited about that. Logan, welcome. I just saw you. Yeah, I know, right? It's something that just slipped my mind with game night. I don't know why we haven't been doing it. It's time to bring it back, don't you think? So it'll be on January 19th or whatever date I just said. I already forgot. Both are noted and appreciated. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you too. All right, here's what we're going to do. We are starting a brand new series tonight. So I recorded earlier in the day an 8-minute video that just describes what this series is about and some details about the series that you need to know. I know that about 25 people have already seen the video. Maybe this is the first time you're going to see this video and what this series is about. But me in the past will explain it for you. And then after that explanation, we're going to play a game. And then we'll get into our lesson time. So please turn your attention to the former me. All right, so right off the bat, let's make sure we know what we're talking about when we talk about social media. Because by social media, I don't just mean Facebook, Instagram, and like Twitter. Those are social media sites or networks, but we mean something kind of bigger than that when we're talking about social media. Social media means any digital media that allows us to create, share, or respond to content with other users. It's a pretty technical definition, but it includes things like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, Reddit, Twitch, and Twitter, but it also includes things that you might not normally think of as social media. Things like texting, YouTube, video gaming online with other people, Discord, Google Hangouts, FaceTime, Messenger, WhatsApp, Zoom, and basically anything that allows you to create or receive media from other people is social media. So let's start off this whole social media by hearing from you about social media on social media. Seems pretty fitting, right? Chat right now. I'm not going to be able to see it, but get your fingers ready. In the chat, I want to hear from you. How many of these things do you interact with on, let's say, a weekly basis? So you're saying a bunch of different things like I just listed, whether that's Snapchat, Discord, Messenger, Zoom, texting. Look through this list and tell me, how many of them do you personally interact with on a weekly basis? I'm curious. Go ahead and kind of look through, put down a number in the chat. Hopefully I'll be able to see it live. I'm obviously recording this earlier, so I'm not going to see it right now, but if I had to guess, I would say there's probably a wide variety among us. There's probably a couple people who will put down a 0 or 1, maybe a 2. Some of you may be all the way up more towards like a 7 or an 8. So with that wide variety, there are a couple things about this series we need to nail down right away before we ever get into the lesson. There's three big things we need to get set in our minds at the beginning of this series. Number one is this. During this series, someone is going to feel worse or better than somebody else at some point. It's pretty vague as far as prophecies go, but I know for a fact while we talk about phones and social media and the texting or FaceTiming and the messaging that we do, someone is going to feel left out at some point. Someone else is going to feel better about themselves because they have those things. Someone else may look down on someone for having an older phone. Someone else may look down on someone for using a certain social media app or site. There's a lot of danger here about comparing ourselves. This whole looking down on each other or thinking we're better off because of what we do or not do as far as social media, that needs to not happen. So be careful about comparing yourself throughout this series. Your identity and your worth is not based on your likes and your follows and your subscribers, and we can say that and mean it, but it's a whole lot harder to live it out. So I just want to give you a warning at the very beginning of this. Part of this came to mind because I was talking with a 10-year-old the other day, and even that 10-year-old was struggling with some personal worth issues because she knew that her friend had more subscribers on something than her. So let's be careful of that when we're talking about all of this. Number two, the second thing you need to know is this series can help anyone. I'm looking at you seniors who have been on social media for a long time, who think you're big, bad adults already. You may be tempted to say, ugh, a series on social media from a youth pastor, gross. Be careful of that. The flip side is also true. There may be some like 7th graders who are thinking, I don't have a phone, I'm not allowed to have social media. This series isn't really for me either. And I want to tell you right off that perspective, both perspectives, are not good. You can always get better at using social media in God-honoring ways, and you're never too young to start learning what it will look like for you to use social media. So here at the beginning, right at the start, I want you to repeat after me. Every single one of you, wherever you are, whether you're with family or by yourself in your room, whether you're listening to this while you're walking through a grocery store, I don't care where you are, I want you to repeat after me. Whether I use social media or not, I can learn from this series. All right, so some of you just looked at me and didn't say anything. Now I'm feeling weird, so let's try it again. Whether I use social media or not, I can learn from this series. All right, that's good. Last thing I want you to know about this series before we get into it is this. This is not going to be a bash social media series, but it's also not going to be a worship social media series. I don't think every Christian should avoid social media, and I don't think every Christian must use social media. That's not what this series is about. There are going to be some people who tell you, stay off social media until you're 30 at least. And then there are other people who have like a panic when they get a notification and they don't open it right away. Maybe some of you know that feeling. Your phone buzzes or you get that ding and you're like, I gotta click on it. I gotta know what it is, and you have that fear of missing out. We're not gonna operate like that for this series. The series is not going to be about social media bad or we're missing out if we're not on social media. Instead, this series is about using social media faithfully. Using it by faith. Letting your faith in Jesus shape the way that you use social media. We want to help you avoid the bad. Yeah, we want you to be aware of the dangers that come with social media. But we also want you to understand what's possible through social media. I personally believe that there's a lot of danger in using social media, especially if you're not acting wisely. But there's also tremendous, amazing opportunities through social media for your well-being, the well-being of the people around you, and for the kingdom of God eternally. There's opportunity with social media. So we need to know what it means to use social media faithfully, letting our faith shape the way that we use social media, whether you have it now or you might someday. So tonight, when we get into the lesson time in a little bit, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the underlying principle behind this whole series. If this statement, and I'm going to tell you in a second, if this statement was not true, I would not spend time on this series. I wouldn't spend time on social media and talking to you guys on Wednesday about social media. Because it is true, I have spent more time on this series than I think I have for any other series ever. I have put so much time and effort and emotion into building this time for you and I and your leaders and your parents and your whole family to talk about social media because the following statement is true. And when you hear this statement, you may think it's a duh, but I honestly 100% truly believe that if all of us can grasp this statement, it would literally change the world. I thoroughly believe that. So the statement is something I'm going to tell you when we get back. We're going to take a quick time and go play a game, and then we'll get into the actual lesson portion later.
All right. Let's see if this works. There we go. There's a bit of a delay, but I need to know again. Can you see me? And can you hear me? Can you see me? And can you hear me? If you can, welcome to my kitchen. I don't know if I've ever filmed in here before, but this is our lovely kitchen space. Many a great meal have been made here. I'm just waiting in the chat to see if anyone can hear me and see me. Blender, yes sir. You're rhyming. I don't know if you know that. The sound is weird. How about now? Is the sound any better? Or is it still sounds weird? You're just delayed. Okay. Try this. Is this audio any better? It's probably going to be synced up, but it's probably going to be more echoey. Let me know if this is a little bit better. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Who is Orange Dust? I don't recognize the name. I would love to know who you are. It's still there. Hear a loud ringing. Okay. I'm going to switch back then. It's just going to be a little out of sync. Alright, we're going to go with a little bit louder but out of sync. Hopefully it's not too badly out of sync. We'll go with this though. Alright, here is today's game. This is a blender before me. Now it's glitching. Oh no. I think the video and the audio are just not going to sync up on this. It's out of sync anyways. Yeah. We're going to go with this audio. This is a blender. I am about to make a smoothie. Now here's the thing. I'm not saying it's on the level of like bananas, but I do not like smoothies. It's a texture thing, I think. But it's possible that there are smoothies out there that I don't like and others that I do, and maybe I've just only tried the smoothies I like. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask your help for choosing ingredients for this smoothie. And whatever we create, I will then try and I will let you know if it's good. And if it's good, I'll post the recipe. If it's not so good, I probably won't. I don't want to make other people suffer. So our first up is this. We're going to start a little bit easy. I got my ingredients down here. I've always wanted like a cooking show, so I'm very excited. Yes, Timothy, that is my computer. That's so I can see you. Hello, Sir Blender. I think that's what we have to call it now. 'Tis an honor to meet you, Sir Blender. All right, first up, we're going to go easy on me. I need to know in the chat if I should put maple syrup in first or honey in first. Which of these two? Only one is going to go in. I won't put a bear in here. Don't worry, Noel. I only kill a bear every, 5 years. Ugh, it means it's coming up. Alright, should I put honey or maple syrup in first? Don't worry about it, Sarah. Alright, honey, syrup, honey. Is not an option. You gotta pick honey or syrup. Honey is winning. Maple syrup, put some potatoes in there. I tried. I couldn't get a potato in time. I kid you not. Maple syrup, imagine putting a bear, maple. Alright. I think it's definitely maple that's winning. It's pretty close. But I'm going to have to say it's maple syrup. I would say tell me when, but with the lag, I would run out of maple syrup. We'll go with something like that. Alright, next. We need some body to this, and I don't have any ice. So we need something. So is it either going to be uncooked noodles or ramen. Which are we putting in next? Uncooked noodles or ramen? We just put maple syrup in. Smells good so far. Would you like medium shells or would you like ramen? Which are we doing? Shells or ramen? Take your pick. Ramen is the first choice. Now, ramen is coming in strong, and I didn't plan this out because do I have to put the packet in? Not as much as Buddy Gelfwood. There is never enough syrup. I agree with that. I should have gotten it. Oh man, that's a lot of ramen. But why would you do this, Sarah? I do it for you. Aren't they both technically uncooked noodles? Yes, they are. And that's the category of this round. I'm thinking it's ramen. Tell me if I need to put the packet in. Tell me in the chat if I put the packet in. Because it seems like I'm definitely doing the noodles. Am I doing the packet as well? I'm going to help out Sir Blender just a little bit. Gotta get all those little pieces. Yes, I am taking a drink of this once we're done. And I'll let you know if it's good. Yes, packet, no, do the packet, no packet, no, you'll die. No packet, never packet. No, the packet will be too salty. Yes, packet, yeah, do it. Yes to the packet. I think it's pretty split. I think if we're doing the full ramen situation here. Yeah, we're doing the packet. It's not ramen without the packet. There's no difference between the two of them. Packet goes in. I can honestly say I've never had maple ramen noodles before. Okay, next. I love spicy foods, so we're going to spice it up a little bit. Should I do Dijon mustard, like brown mustard, stone ground Dijon mustard, our boldest Dijon yet, or do I do buffalo sauce? Which of these do I need to do in here? Because I love maple syrup. Oh, that doesn't smell bad. That's not bad. Okay, do I do Dijon mustard or do I do buffalo sauce? Tell me in the chat. Which one? Dijon mustard. Yay, spicy. Buffalo sauce. Mustard, buffalo sauce. Making you sick? You're not even trying it. Buffalo sauce. Mustard. Buffalo sauce, mustard, buffalo sauce. I dislike buffalo. Oh, I dislike mustard. So buffalo sauce, spicy sauce, do it. Buffalo sauce, Dijon. Buffalo sauce is definitely winning. Buffalo sauce going in. I'm going to have to be light on this because I really do like this stuff, but I won't taste anything else. Yeah, that's pretty good. Just in essence. Alright, buffalo sauce, winner. Next. Okay, it's getting weirder from here. Black beans. That seems like a smoothie thing. Like, someone's got to put black beans in their smoothie, right? But black beans or some Twizzlers. Twizzlers are just are fruity, and you put fruit in smoothies. So, something someone probably puts in a smoothie, a version of something you would definitely put in a smoothie. Which is going in? Black beans or Twizzlers? Skittles vocabulary. Yes, that is light. That was a light amount of buffalo sauce. It's not that bad. Beans or Twizzlers? Which am I doing? Twizzlers get the first vote. That's 2 votes for Twizzlers. Black beans. Twizzlers. You think beans would taste better? I would not have black beans, so Twizzlers. Black beans make it a protein shake. This is what I'm saying. See, black beans seems like a thing. And this one's really close too. That is part of the thing, Caleb. We're going to find out if you can blend Twizzlers. It may be that, like, through a magic trick, I blend it, everything else is blended, and then there's just Twizzler left. That would be cool, though. Both. Wilkins, that's not how that works. We're only doing one. I think I don't know, it's really close. Twizzlers, beans, Twizzlers, beans, Twizzlers. I don't think... That's really close. I think we're going Twizzler on that. Mostly because it was the first couple, and then there was a couple more. Shake is good for you and your health. That is true. Alright, here. We're doing Twizzlers. Partially so that we can see if they blend or not. How many should I do? Maybe like this? Like 4. 4 Twizzlers. We'll go with that. They do smell good. I think this is going to make up for a world of hurt. Alright, just a couple more and then we got to move on. Actually, we'll do one more. This one's the one I'm scared about. Do I do pickles or shrimp? Pickles or shrimp? 7. I see 7 twice. That's a sign right there. But 2, 3. Okay, it evens out. We're doing 4. Should I do shrimp or pickles in my smoothie? Both foods that I love. I have often finished a night, like gone to bed, by eating a pickle and drinking some milk. And I have said, if I live to 100, and a reporter asks me, how did you live to 100? I'm going to say it was because I had pickles and milk every night. Shrimp or pickles? I'm seeing pickles. Shrimp, pickles. Shrimp, pickles. Shrimp, pickles. Pickles, shrimp. Pickles, pickles, shrimp. Pickles, shrimp. Yeah, the shrimp are fishy currently because they're old. Pickles, pickles. This is tempting. Shrimp. Bananas is not even on there. Get out of here, Caleb. Pickles is fine. Currently, pickles is winning. Pickles, shrimp, pickles. Pickles. I think pickles is coming out ahead. I'm very surprised. I thought you were going to do shrimp. I'm grateful you didn't. But I think we're going to go pickles. Yeah, you're all complicit if I die. Alright, how many pickles am I doing? 1, 2, or 3? 1, 2, or 3. We're doing pickles. How many pickles? 1, 2, or 3? I love pickles, right? I love pickles too. Food poisoning is a possibility. I'm not going to say it's not. 2, 3, 3, 2. On my Subway sandwich. 3, 1,000. 21, the whole jar. That's just wasting food, because this is already more food than I need. Although I haven't had dinner yet. So this is dinner right here, and dessert, with my Twizzlers. 3, alright. I said 1, 2, or 3. Uh-oh. I didn't think about this. What if I can't get this open on camera? It's too late. It was too late to think about food poisoning when I first set up the blender. Brand new pickles, so you know they're going to be good. I love pickles. Yeah, I got it open. I'm going to use a fork. One pickle. 2 pickle. 3 pickle. Doesn't that look good? Some of the best foods right there. Alright, I need to blend it up. And to protect your ears, I'm going to turn off the mic for a second, and I'll turn it back on. Someone pointed out I need some pickle juice. I think that's a good point. That'll help it. I gotta be honest though, I do not like these pickles. These Mount Olive pickles. Clausen. Clausen has the best pickles. We don't have enough liquid yet. This was the day he broke the blender. It's not gonna break. I am using up all the pickle juice though. Because I had a thought of putting milk in, but I'm pretty sure if I put milk in now, it's not gonna go well with the pickle juice. I did not consider the possibility that it just wasn't going to blend. Ooh, it's jumping out at me. Let's see if we can get it going with that. Alright, we gotta add water. Honestly, water seems like it's gonna be the worst.
Do you need help?
I don't know. I added water. It's not gross yet. I can't blend it.
Jab stuff further down.
This
There's nothing for it to catch on.
may just be a dud. Cooking with Pastor Dan. I think I need ice next time to help give it something to grab. We don't have any ice, but thank you for checking.
We have frozen corn.
That's absolutely it. Bring it over. We're adding frozen corn because we don't have
No,
ice.
we have popsicles.
Those are very old. We don't have ice. Yeah, oh yeah. I'll still drink some of
You
it.
have plenty.
No, I don't want to waste that. That is some freezer burnt corn. Fruity, 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 fruity. Alright, let's try that. How... I was told to use the smoothie cup. This is not all going to fit.
No.
Oh, it's slimy. I didn't plan for this. We have at least one pickle in there. We got a couple Twizzlers.
You need to show the camera. No one can see what's going on in that cup. Also, that's too full of liquid.
Okay, we'll pour some out. How about that? Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm making a mess now. Alright, so where's the little blendy thing?
Right behind you.
Where?
Right there.
Oh. If I can get out of this without puking or cutting myself, I will consider it a win.
No, it's not sealing. You gotta push it down further. There you go.
Alright, get rid of this nonsense. This is taking way longer than I meant for it to. Alright. Am I gonna die?
What do you mean?
Is this gonna explode?
No, that's how full that's supposed to be.
Alright, let's try. Could y'all see the lights? The lights were flickering. It blended though. Alright, oh, there's a mess. I smell maple. That's a miracle. Can you get on camera and bring it up closer so people can see? I really smell maple. That's the weirdest thing.
Wow, it really is lagging. I can't see anything.
Oh! The Twizzler. The Twizzler said no. I have plenty. Yeah, there we go. A little garnish. Take that Twizzler down there. That is vomit. That's just vomit. Hey, movie people. If you need fake vomit, I got the recipe. Got a little straw here. Here we go. The maple comes through. The maple helps. Shouldn't have gone again. Should not have gone again. All right. Oh, wait. It's not complete with it. Okay. I'm going to clean this up. And what you need to do is grab your Bibles and grab a notebook. Because it's lesson time. Okay? Grab a notebook. Grab a Bible. It's time to study the Bible. So the underlying principle for this whole series is this. How you use social media matters. It's a pretty simple statement, and it may hit you a couple different ways. I honestly think some of you will probably hear that and assume I mean, guys, just please stop sinning. I'm begging you. It matters. And yeah, I partially mean that, but that's not the whole story. Some of you will hear that and just assume I mean a general you, but what I actually mean is that how you personally use it will affect yourself, it'll affect the people around you, and it'll affect the world to come. Each and every one of you individually. Every message you send, every message that you receive, every video you watch, every comment you leave, every vanishing message, every picture, every thought is doing something to you and to others. It has an effect. We'll talk more about that in a second. Others of you will read that and go, yeah, okay, sure, I can get behind that. It matters. But I think if that's your reaction, you don't truly get it. Not yet, anyways. You don't yet understand how powerful a force for good social media can be in the hands of a Christian. It's not just it matters because there are bad things on social media. It matters because you as a Christian can have an effect on the world around you, and it will affect you too through social media. If you will grasp that, I think you all will be able to do even more than I ever could on my whole lifetime because of social media. I think you could do so much if you will grasp how much it matters how you use social media. More than, yeah, I'll try not to do the bad stuff. So what I want to do tonight is explain to you from Ephesians 5, verses 6 through 17, 3 reasons why how you use social media matters. And why it matters for your personal well-being, for the well-being of the people around you, and for the kingdom of God for all eternity. Those are the stakes that we're talking about. That's the passage we're going to be looking at. So I highly recommend you turn there right now. Ephesians 5, verses 6 through 17. 3 reasons why how you use social media matters. Here is reason number 1. It matters how you use social media because you're meant to live like the child of God you are. Here's what verses 6 through 11 of Ephesians 5 says. It says this, "Let no one deceive you with empty words. For because of these things, the sins that were previously listed in this chapter, the wrath of God comes upon the sons of disobedience.
Therefore, do not become partners with them. For at one time you were darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light, for the fruit of light is found in all that is good and right and true. And try to discern what is pleasing to the Lord. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. For it is shameful even to speak of the things that they do in secret. Here's what this passage is saying. First, it's saying no matter what anyone says to you, sin is not okay in a Christian's life. It's not okay. God is not okay with Christians continuing on in their sin. It's because of sin that God's judgment is headed towards those who continue on in their sin and refuse to repent and turn to Jesus. So because God is not okay with sin and he has saved us out of sin and he's pulled us out of it, we now, as people who have turned to Jesus and repented of our sin, as people who have been changed by Jesus' sacrifice for us, as people who have been adopted as children of God, we need to let go of sin. Let go of the old way of living and start living in the light. That means two different things. One might be more obvious than the other. The first, it means that we reject evil or reject sin. That when we have the opportunity, we say no by the power of the gospel. That because we have been changed, we have the ability to say no to sin because we are no longer slaves to sin. So we reject evil. That's what it's talking about in verse 11. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness. Don't play around with it. Don't participate in it. Don't do it. But the second thing it means is that we also do good. So we reject evil, but being a Christian is not just about rejecting evil, it's about actively doing good. These verses say, walk in the light. To walk is to live in the truth. Do good. Love God. Love your neighbor. All of these things that are evil, you reject them and instead you accept. And now you live in the light instead. Now this obviously apply to use social media. Your faith is not irrelevant to social media, and social media is not irrelevant to your faith. When it comes to how you use social media, it matters because you are a child of God. That if there is anything sinful, deceitful, deceptive, dark, immoral, or evil that you could do or participate in online, you say no to it. If there is some sin or some evil that you could be playing around with through posts and comments and views and texts and videos and likes and clicks and shares, you stay away from it. You reject evil. But you also do good online too. What you're supposed to do instead of just reject evil is find out what is pleasing to God. What are the good parts that God enjoys? What you do online is what you stick with what is good and right and true. Sometimes it's helpful to have a list of things to be able to check against things. So when you go online and you're wondering, is this pleasing to God? Is this not pleasing to God? Is this sin? Is this right? Is this wrong? It can be a little tricky to figure out on your own, but thankfully the Bible doesn't leave us on our own. And there are at least two really good passages that you could turn to and kind of check against. One is Galatians 5, and it tells us the fruit of the flesh and the fruit of the Spirit. So go read those sometime. Read through Galatians chapter 5 and take a look towards the end of the chapter, and you're going to see these are a list of things that Christians should not be doing. And this is a list of things that Christians will be doing when they're following the leading of the Holy Spirit. So which describes your use of social media more? Is it more fleshly, more sinful? Or is it more godly, more affected by the Holy Spirit? But there's another passage that we can look at, and I recommend you look there now, and it's Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. This is what it says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. That gives us a list of categories of the content that we should be producing and receiving through social media. What you spend time on online should be described in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. If what you spend time on online cannot be described there, you're probably living in a way that doesn't look like the way that children of light live, that rejecting evil and actively doing good. It could just be a time filler instead of the actual doing good that you're meant to do through social media. So we look at verses like Philippians 4:8 and we see this is what it looks like to live like a child of light. Because we have been changed by the gospel, it matters how you spend time online. You are a part of the family of God, radically accepted by God forever. So live like his child, even when it comes to social media. That's reason number one of why it matters. Number two, second reason why it matters how you use social media is this. It matters how you use social media because you're supposed to use your time the best way possible. I can think of lots of time in my life, even sitting on that couch right back there, when I'll get home from work or get home from doing something strenuous and hop on the couch and I will just kind of flip through my phone. And I get on that scroll and it is a treadmill that is hard to get off of. I find myself watching one funny video and then, another one pops up. And I watch that video and another one pops up. And I watch that video. Suddenly hours go by and I didn't even realize what I was doing. It's so easy to waste time online. But the way that we use social media as Christians, using social media faithfully, is never about wasting time. Take a look in verses 15 and 16 of Ephesians chapter 5. It says this, "Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time because the days are evil." Okay, so that first part doesn't really sound like what I was doing before. When I lost track of time and ended up just watching a bunch of videos, I'm not looking carefully on how I'm living. But it talks even more about that when it describes what it means to look carefully that you're walking wisely. Part of walking wisely as a child of God is making the best use of our time. Verse 16 says that part of living wisely is making the best use of the time that you have been given. What we don't want to do is just reject some evil and do some good in our life. We want to reject the most evil possible and we want to do the most good possible. We want to worship God the most we possibly can. We want to glorify God the most we possibly can. We want to love others as much as we possibly can. We want to do good works as much as we possibly can. We want to live as hard as we can while we're alive. Because that's what it looks like to live as a child of God. Reject evil, do good, making the best use of the little amount of time on earth that we've been given. So there are good ways to spend time, and there are bad ways to spend time, but there's actually also better ways to spend time and best ways to spend time. And part of being a Christian is looking carefully to make sure that we are spending our time the best way possible. There are certain things that you and I are supposed to be doing as Christians, and we're meant to find the best way to do those things. Things like having our minds reshaped and made new by Jesus and the Holy Spirit. Connecting with other Christians in fun and play and work and fellowship, reaching the lost with the gospel, sharing the gospel with lost people, showing love to others, outdoing one another in showing honor, thinking on positive things, rejoicing in God's creation, and having good, clean Christian fun. These are things that we're supposed to spend time on, but more than just spending time on them, we're supposed to find the best way possible to spend time on them. We should look for the best tools available to us to get the most bang for our buck, the biggest return on investment. That's what Jesus taught his disciples in Luke 19, where he wanted them to invest what they had been given for the greatest return on their investment. that we've been given lots of good, primarily the gospel, but we've also been given so much other stuff and so many other opportunities and so many tools that we can use. Now we are seeking to get the best return on investment that we possibly can. And one of the tools that we can use is social media. All those things I just listed of things that Christians should be spending their time on, creatively coming up with the best ways to love the people around us and show love for God and share God's news with others. With all of those things in mind, we try to find the best tools at our disposal. And social media is a powerful tool, one of the tools that could be in our toolbox for making the most out of the time that God has given us in this life. Social media can do amazing things. It spreads more information than ever before. It's revolutionary in how much information gets shared. It connects more people than ever before. It reduces physical and social boundaries. It brings you places you can't go physically. It gives you millions of opportunities to be grown and strengthened and enriched and encouraged. And it gives you millions more opportunities to grow and sharpen and uplift and encourage other people. Social media can do so much. And I'm not just talking about something like posting verses in Instagram. That's a good thing. I personally do that, and I do that through the Merrimack Valley Teens page as well. But I mean going beyond that. You can learn and grow in your faith through videos and articles and blogs that you find through social media. You can build Christ-honoring relationships and stay in touch with thousands of ways to connect and play and work together with people that you may not be able to spend time with as regularly in person. You can encourage others and be encouraged by sharing uplifting content, that Philippians 4:8 kind of content. You can strengthen and renew your minds with practical support and spiritual wisdom. You can learn and grow and mature. I'm even saying you can worship God through things like fun videos or funny videos and sharing videos about God's creation and God's people and just seeing what God has made and learning more about the world and just enjoying things with other people. There's so much opportunity when we live intentionally and live wisely and make the most out of our lives using tools like social media. Social media is not the only way to do this, and it's not the only tool like this, but it's a tool that you could use for making the most out of the time that you have been given. That's why how you use social media matters. Because what you spend your time on matters, and social media can help you spend your time best as one tool in your toolbox. But it only happens when you think of social media that way. If you let social media be a time filler, a time waster, something that you just kind of do, it's not going to happen on its own. You have to think about it as a tool for making the most of your time. It can be a powerful tool in your hands for accomplishing all of Christ's purposes for your life in bigger and better ways than you could do without it. It's an opportunity if you'll seize it for the right reasons. That's why it matters. All right, reason number three. Reason number three of why how you use social media matters. And it's this. It matters because you need to not be dumb. I couldn't think of another better way of putting it. When it comes to social media, you need to not be dumb. There are just some times in life where you need to not be dumb. I think of one where you're a kid and you happen to have a knife. If you have a knife, you need to not be dumb. If you are handed a gun at a shooting range, that is a time where you need to not be dumb. It's not even necessarily about being malicious. It's just you need to know what you're doing and the harm that could come if you're careless and not paying attention. Social media is honestly one of those times where you need to not be dumb. I say that because there are lots of dangers that will come when you use social media. Now I'm thinking of those of you who do not yet use social media. You need to know about these dangers, but even people who currently use social media, you may have tasted some of these dangers, but there may be other dangers you haven't considered yet. Dangers like predators. There will be people who will prey on you and try to take advantage of you online. That private mistakes are made public for people to see, and they're made permanent. What's put out there online is very difficult to take back and near impossible in some instances. That when you're young and immature and you don't know what you're doing, that mistake could be permanently engraved online. There's also dangers like pride and lust. You'll receive criticism online. There will be emotional harm that you're going to experience. There can be temptations to greed and jealousy. There's this weird correlation between using the internet for social media and depression. You can start to think more earthly instead of more heavenly. You can experience broken relationships, addiction, temptations to laziness. You can experience a vanity where you get obsessed with how you look, and you can fall into a self-focus. There are real dangers when it comes to social media. You have to be aware of those. And verse 17 makes it clear why. Let's read verse 17. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. So there are two ways that you can live. You can live foolishly, or you can understand God's will for your life. Understand what God wants for you, both the good and the avoiding the bad, the doing good and the rejecting evil, what God wants for your limited amount of time here in this life. You see this two options all throughout this chapter. It's talked about as darkness and light. It's talked about unwise and wise. It's talked about foolish and understanding. However you put it, you have just these two options. And what you choose will have consequences. That choosing the good or choosing the bad will each have their own set of consequences, good or bad. That this chapter tells us the difference between others trusting God and others distrusting God can lie in our decisions. That our decisions are often the difference between people glorifying God and people not glorifying God. In personally being deceived or believing the truth. In pleasing God and not pleasing God. In being fruitful and not being fruitful. In receiving praise and receiving shame. Your decisions will have consequences. So when it comes to social media, you need to not be dumb. But especially because of how powerful social media is. We have to be wise in understanding what God wants us to do and say and tap and click and watch and share and post and send online. That the amount of power in some tools makes the need for wisdom even greater. As I was thinking about this, I was thinking about how you can get a play drill for a little kid. Right? A toddler gets a little wooden drill and it doesn't move at all, but it kind of looks like a drill, and then they pretend. That child doesn't need much wisdom to use that correctly. I mean, they need some amount of wisdom, otherwise they're going to poke their eye out, or more likely poke a sibling's eye out. They need to have some level of wisdom. But once they start using a real drill, they need a little bit more wisdom, because what can happen gets worse or better. The same thing is true with a knife or a car. My nieces have this little battery-operated Jeep, just a tiny little thing that they sit on, and it goes wee, and they kind of drive around. They need a little bit of wisdom to use that correctly, so they don't flip it or fall down a cliff or something like that. But when they get 16 and they go through driver's ed, they are going to need to gain more wisdom to know how to take care of a full-fledged car. And the same thing is true with social media. That the power of the tool of social media, the potential dangers and the potential good, mean that there is a great need for wisdom. You need to not be foolish when you use such a powerful tool. And you need to understand what God's will is when you use such a powerful tool. This tool has no inherent good or evil. It's a tool. And when you use this tool, the good and evil that's inside of you is going to come out. And because it's such a public tool, the social media, it's going to amplify the good in you and amplify the evil in you. What this means is it is especially important for you to understand God's will with social media. You need to be aware of the dangers that are present with social media. More dangers than I've listed here. Dangers that you need to talk about with your family and understand from your parents, and get to know what evil is possible. Both the evil of you doing it, but also being on the receiving end of this evil. It also means that you need to be able to tell the difference between right and wrong, and better and best. If you can't tell the difference between right and wrong, better and best, you're not ready for this powerful tool because your actions have consequences. And it also means that you need to be humble in how you use it. Be humble when it comes to accountability. Be humble when it comes to restrictions and limitations. Be humble in how much power is given to you when you are allowed to use social media. Be humble in the fact that your decisions have consequences. How you use social media matters because your actions have consequences, both for tremendous good and unspeakable evil. That should be in our minds every time we use social media. We can, because of the power of the Holy Spirit and because of the change that the gospel has brought in our lives, we can know God's will. And we can act wisely, and we can live like a child of God online. And when we do that, we can do amazing, mind-blowing, tiny little and big, huge, amazing things. But that only happens when we recognize it as a tool that can be used for good. Because at the same time, you can also act foolishly. You can act unwisely. You can live like a lost person, and you can do horrible, awful damage to yourself and to the people around you, all while missing out on the good that God has planned for you. That is also possible because social media is such a powerful tool. That is why it matters how you use social media. There is amazing potential for good and amazing potential for evil. So I share all of this with you because I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to think about how you will use social media. Whether it's one day when you get it or it's the next time you open up your phone, how will you use social media? Will you use it for yourself? Will you use it for sin? Will you use it for nothing? Or will you use it for the good that God has planned for you? You can use this powerful tool for all of Christ's purposes for your life if you're willing to submit to God. If you're willing to look to the life that God has given you and look and understand and discern His will and follow after Him and live like a child of God, so much good is possible. So I want to encourage you right now to have a conversation with God about how you will use social media. I want you to talk with God right now. So that means closing your eyes and bowing your head wherever you happen to be, as long as you're not driving while listening to this, I guess. I want you to talk with God. And if you have no idea what to say, then pray after me. Try praying this with me. God, I'm going to use this tool for what I know you want for my life. All the good you want for me. All the good works you've planned for me. All the love you want to give through me. And I want what you want out of how I will use social media. Amen. Here's my challenge for you this week. I want to challenge you to talk to your parents about how you will use social media. Whether you have it now or you will someday. I want you to start a conversation with your parents about it. Talk about the good that is possible. Talk about the evil that's possible. Talk about the evil that you will reject and the good that you will do. Talk about how you will live out Christ's purposes for your life online. Start a conversation about this powerful tool.
Thank you so much for joining tonight. For real, definitely be thinking about how you will use social media. It's a powerful tool. I firmly believe it. I did then, and I definitely do now. I'm grateful for what it allows us to do, like be able to meet together and come up with the perfect smoothie together. But I'm also grateful that it's allowing us tonight to study the Bible together. So read through Ephesians 5
again, look at that chapter and see what it says about our usage of social media, and consider how you can use social media for all of God's purposes for your life. Thank you for joining us this new year. Happy New Year again. Thank you for being willing to watch through all of the different technical difficulties tonight, but I hope it was a good time. In case you feel like you missed something from the lesson, what I'll do is tomorrow I will upload the 2 lesson videos, the series introduction and the lesson video, without lag. I'll just upload the actual video so that you can watch it if you would like to, or if you want to pass it off to someone else, or so that you can go back to it. I'll also plan on uploading the Insomnia promo if you want to send that to somebody, because you need to be thinking about who you want to invite to Insomnia. It's a great opportunity to share the gospel with somebody, to get them to church and build relationships with church folk. It can kind of break the ice with them coming to teen life. It's a great opportunity to share God's good news with others. So be thinking about how and who you want to invite to Insomnia. Lastly, if you missed it and you jumped in partway through the stream tonight, definitely go back all the way to the beginning of the live stream as soon as we're done, and you can watch our annual recap video. We have pictures and videos from all throughout the year. It was a lot of fun to put together, and it's really cool to go back and see how much you guys have grown, all the different things that we've done since then. God really blessed us in 2021, and it's a great way to be reminded of everything he gave us, all the experiences, friendships, memories, everything like that. So definitely be sure to go back and watch the recap video as well. If you have your small group meeting tonight, meaning your small group leader reached out to you and said, this is our plan, now is a great time to jump over. Have a wonderful night, everybody who is heading over to small group. If your group is not meeting tonight, feel free to stay on the stream. I usually stay on for another 15 or so minutes, and I'm happy to respond with what's going on the chat. If you have any questions, post them there. If you have statements, thoughts, things that stuck out to you about the lesson, you can mention them there. If you have questions about Insomnia, you can ask them there as well. In a second, I'll grab my guitar. I'll usually play around a little bit and chat with you guys. But have a great night. If your small group is meeting tonight, thank you so much for joining us. Oh, so the question was the smoothie okay? No, it wasn't good. I think Lily's right. It very much does look like vomit. It tasted pickly and maple syrupy, which is fine. I would drink it through a strainer because the texture of the little chunks is gross. That's the thing I don't like about a real smoothie. So the ramen really killed it for me. The overall flavor was not bad. It's mapley pickle juice with a little bit of kick from the buffalo sauce. Couldn't taste the Twizzler at all, but that's mostly because it didn't blend. Yeah, the texture really got me on that. Have a good night, John. Thank you for coming. Bye, Lily. Good night, Starks. John, your question about can it be someone from social media like Snapchat, but they can watch online? There won't be any live stream of Insomnia, but they can always watch online for Teen Life. David, that is disgusting. The chunks are not the best part. Did you throw up? I did not throw up, and I did not cut myself. It was a win. Also, I think if you go back and watch, you'll see why it wasn't blending. I'm not going to say more than that right now. But if you go back and watch, you might be able to tell why it wasn't blending. Yep. Eagle-eyed viewers will be able to tell why it wasn't blending. Human chunky milk. Wow, you survived. I did indeed survive. Do you make music? I see keyboards in the background. Yes, absolutely, I make music. Do I post anything? No. I just like playing. Mostly music that I've done in my lifetime has been for worship services. So for a while in college, I was on a traveling worship team where we would play at churches, camps, conferences, special venues, concerts, that kind of thing. And it was a really, really awesome experience to be able to worship with so many different Christians across the country. Now, I don't play a whole lot. I'm able to help the worship team during practice every now and then when they need it. And then at home, probably once or twice a week, I'll just play around on my keyboards. I have an acoustic, an electric, and a bass all set up. I have my banjo over there. I have a uke over there. My mandolin is over there. I have a small little accordion somewhere, tambourine. I don't know if you know of a launch pad. The launch pad's a lot of fun to play with. I have another little MIDI actuator back here. Did you forget to plug it in? No, I did not forget to plug it in. Bridie, you may be right, but I don't want to admit it on camera. Let me grab this. I think it's going to need a tune. Sits by a window, which really isn't good for it. I don't really have another spot for it. I've been playing for a long time, and I still worry that the string is going to snap on me. Dolan, have a wonderful night. Thank you for coming. That's what it's called. Did you plug it in? Yes, mandolin, absolutely. Wanted a MIDI keyboard launchpad for a while. I saved up for a long time, and I was very grateful I did. It's a lot of fun to play with. Bye, Smiths. Thank you for coming. Bluetooth MIDI keyboard would be amazing. It could connect with my phone and do things since I don't have a music program. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Bridie, what is your fear? I forget now. Sam, we do something like that. There's beef potato. So I looked for a potato in the kitchen, which is where we keep our potatoes, shockingly enough. The only potato that we had was in a bag, and I was worried that if I opened the bag, it was somehow going to ruin it, like it was supposed to steam in a closed bag or something like that. But definitely. Yeah, you can do a lot for music on a phone. Oh, yes. Every time. So I didn't tell you guys all the surprises we have in store for 2022. I made a lot of purchases, made a lot of plans over the holidays, and we have a lot of cool stuff going on. I'm very excited. Cut your thumb? That's not good. Do you have a general idea for the games in Insomnia, or is it solely based on recommendations you get over time? Oh yeah, I always have a general idea. I will change the plan based on recommendations and what people say. I will often try to find people, or like if people are late at Teen Life, I'll be like, so I'm thinking about doing this. What do you guys think? And those of you who get picked up late know exactly what I'm talking about. And you kind of give your input, or someone reaches out and says, you know, if we're going to do Insomnia, you should definitely do this. And I take those things and I say, okay, based on the other things that I'm doing, we probably don't need to do that, or I can tweak this, or we definitely need to bring that back, or people didn't really care for this. And I kind of base it off of what's going to hit with you guys. But I come up with a plan and then adjust it based on what people are saying. So I have a decent idea of what games we'll play, but not a final plan until I start hearing from you guys. Are you literally scarred, or are you metaphorically scarred, like emotionally scarred from the incident, Brady? David, I agree. Grog at 3 a.m. was the best. Did you like your own live stream? I did not like the live stream. Should I? George, that would be your luck, man. March 11th. Now you know. I'm glad you're only metaphorically scarred, Brady. You should ask other people. If you were there when we played Grog the very first time, and we played till sunrise, because that was part of the game. You had until sunrise to defeat Grog. If you were there, talk a little bit about what it was like. I'll share some stories too. George, in what way was it traumatizing? Tell us a little bit about it. I have not been able to yet. I'm very sorry. Sonia, I have been working a lot on this series. Part of what I did with this series that I've never done before is I developed a parent pack for the parents. So I sent your parents a packet that is 62 pages long, all about this series, so that they can be learning and being equipped to help you with social media while we do this series on Wednesday nights as well. So that's been taking up a lot of my time. Have you written your own song before? Yes. So I've actually done a couple sets of my own music, Timothy. I think 4 or 5 times. I've gone to like a coffee shop or part of a concert, like a variety of local musicians, and I've been able to do my own music a couple times there, which has been a blast. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was writing a song the other day, and then I was thinking, like, where did I put the lyrics for those songs? Because I only vaguely remember them at this point, but it was a really good time. You hit Grog with a broom? Where did you get a broom, Logan? That's not good. First time I saw Grog in the dark, to be honest, I panicked and screamed. It's Chewbacca. That was good. Why do you? Because he's chasing me. Of course, I'm gonna hit him. Yeah, but where'd you get the broom? Part of the fun of the very first Grog was that no one had ever seen Grog before. Like, people have a good idea of what he looks like now, especially after Game Jam. You can kind of see him pretty good during Game Jam, but that very first time, nobody knew what to expect. And that was part of the fun of it that first time. However, I have a feeling that when everyone's loopy from staying up all night and then we play it at dawn again, it'll be plenty scary even though you know what he looks like. I saw Grog once during the whole game and then I went downstairs and never saw him again. You never saw him again? That's wild. Yeah. Just being told there's a monster, watch out for him, and then having no idea what to expect. Very good. I'm trying to see if there's a way to duplicate that, but even if we don't duplicate it and it's literally just Grog again, it'll be a ton of fun. I can guarantee that. Yeah, but that doesn't mean it was your broom, Logan. That would be fun, Logan. Bridie, have a wonderful night. Thank you for being here. I hope y'all are all feeling good. Getting better. You can get used to Grog. I seem to remember hugging him multiple times. Have fun with your nightmare games. Thank you. Will do. That's wild. Noel, you're wild. David, apparently you found the perfect hiding spot, but now that you've told me, I can tell Grog, and Grog will know exactly where to go. So think about that. Yeah, I distinctly remember, George, that happening multiple times, that people would yell, "He's right there!" And he wouldn't be there, and everyone would just freak out and run the wrong direction. And a couple times he was in the exact wrong direction, and it was brilliant. One of my favorite memories from doing Grog was when uh, Grog came like menacingly walking around a dark corner, and there was a bunch of junior hires right in front of me, and they all freaked out and turned around, and one of them body checked me into the lockers. Like I literally left my feet and went against the lockers and landed on my feet. That's how scared they were. A little junior hire, a couple of junior hires, like body checked me out of the way to get out of the way of Grog. Such a great game. My other favorite memory was, and I do not recommend this, and this wasn't good that they did it, but it was funny, was someone in the cafeteria slid a table between them and Grog literally just jumped over it. It was insane. I had no idea Grog had that kind of ups. They just jumped, like slid over the table seamlessly. It was quite the thing to watch. Wow, junior hires body check. Yes, they did. It was wild. Grog pushed us off the wheel. Yeah, that's what Grog's supposed to do. And then after you get touched by Grog, you were supposed to head back to the fires, the campfires. Logan. How did Noel get trampled? That sounds bad. Seem to remember me and Justine standing at the top of the one on the stairs, trash talking jokingly. Chris in an attempt to lure him out. Clever. David, I got tagged once, and it was right when my group left the campfire. Like right away? All right, here's a question. For those of you who were at Grog last time, should we do the fires again? Because they were a bit of effort to put together, but did it add to the ambiance? Should we do the fires again? Should we worry about the fires? Fires were kind of cool, but the riddles were a pain. The riddles were from last year with Game Jam, right? Did we do riddles? Oh no, you're right. I remember. The riddles were a pain. No fires. Alana votes no fires. Where did you put the fire? Darth Vader thing where we have to collect parts for the lightsaber, but instead we do a sword or something. Why a sword and not a lightsaber? Did you not like the Star Wars aspect of it? It's like how you got sidetracked. Yeah. Panic. She was shoved under. I was almost trampled. That's not good. I'll have to be careful of that. Are there any other games you think we should do at Insomnia? Pitchfork. Yeah, where he was also playing the music. We had the music going in the gym, and you had to build a lightsaber. That was fun. It was quite the epic moment when y'all did finally vanquish Darth Vader. That was a good time. Can I show you guys? I'm only going to show you if you're interested. Do any of you want to see the commercial that we made the last time we did? No, not the last time. Do you want to see one of the last commercials that we did for Insomnia? The year that it was Midnight Madness. Now, I think that was the year that we did Darth Vader, but I could be wrong. Humans vs. Zombies is classic. It's very hard to balance that game, but it's a lot of fun. Big ball? Okay, good to know. Do you want to see an old commercial for Insomnia? All right, let me pull it up. It's going to take a second. Actually, this is going to take longer than I thought. We'll keep talking while I pull it up. It's not easily accessible, as it were. It's added to the room's beauty. It's actually really... That's awesome! I'm really glad to hear that you kept it all this time. Any other games that we should do? Maybe it's one that we've not even done before. I would love to hear. I hear Skittles. Alright, it's loading. I just opened up the MVT part of the church website. I'm in the pic with a weak peace sign. As I'm sitting there the week I had my big crash and I had bandages all over me. Really? Interesting. I wonder why that's the picture that's up there. The game with a huge ball. Okay, infection. Yep. 4 on a couch is really fun. Yeah, you've mentioned that before. I think I still have that. Come here. Come here. Come on. You gonna jump or not? You scared? Kitty. One we haven't done before. Yeah, you've mentioned it a couple times. I haven't been able to find the right setting for it, but it does sound like a lot of fun. Hello. Are you saying hi to everybody? There we go. Loading. Any other games that you think we should do? Really? What is the rest of the picture like? Is it a group picture or what is it? It's on the NVT part of the church website. I don't remember. I'll have to check it out. All right. I might have it up. Give me a All right. Logan, you mention that every time I ask for an activity. Are you ready? Paused. Interesting. There we go. All right. Are you ready to see some a promo video from 2017? So it's been a while. Are you ready for this? He's so happy he's let loose. Is it going to work? Let's find out. Are you ready? Here we go. Here's a promo from a while ago. Originally, we deemed it too scary to be the actual commercial, so we didn't really play it, but here it is. Now, don't ask me why I thought that was a good idea. But it was a lot of fun to make, and it's kind of fun to watch now. But as far as like a promo video for people who aren't part of the church, not good. What do you what do you guys think about it though? It's quite the time. It's definitely some freaky parts to it. Pretty creepy at times. Each of those things though represented a game that we did that night. And we crammed a lot into just a little bit of time because that one ended at 1 a.m. So there was a lot. Remember, that was an old promo from 2017. But yes, it was in November that year. It was creepy. Yeah, that one was way creepier than this year's. For comparison, here's this year's again. Shout out to Josh Puzzo for taking the video of the bed. Very grateful for that. I thought it came out pretty good. Yes, promo for a church event. Not quite the vibe that is inviting. I kind of think that for the one that we played tonight, the one that I just played now, that it's not necessarily good for a promo video for outside the church. But it's a lot of fun for those who have been part of Insomnia before or have heard about it within the church. And I'll put it online in case there is somebody else who you think would be good to see, who would be good to send it to. Because there might be someone that would see that and go, you know, that sounds like a lot of fun. I want to go to that. Other people may see that and go, oh, no, thank you. That is not for me. So it's not going to be like anything that we send out to anybody, but we'll post it online for you guys and maybe show it at Teen Life again before the actual event. Matt with a gun is scarier than anything else I've ever seen. I'm trying to think of a good way to bring those back this year. I like Mary King Scary Films too. I made one about sleep paralysis. That sounds terrifying. I hate sleep paralysis. Still getting chills from the new video. That new video was one of the fastest things I've ever put together. Josh sent me the video clip yesterday. Today I made it in about 45 minutes, which may seem like a long time, but it's the fastest I've ever made a video before. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It was like right before Teen Life started. So I was very grateful that it exported in time. Yeah, it looks cool, but it's not inviting. So it might catch some people who are looking for a fun time, but anyone who's nervous about showing up to a new place on their own probably is not going to like it. Or it just might be too intense for some people. So I'll have to think about if I can tweak it to make it a little bit less intense, or if we can do a different promo, or if we just don't need to do a promo other than that one, and it's mainly just word of mouth with people inviting others. I don't think there's many people who are going to see a video on Instagram and decide to come to the event without already knowing someone. A video on Instagram might help someone who knows someone who's going, but I don't think someone's going to decide to come without knowing anybody because they saw a video. I could be wrong about that, but I'm trying to keep that in mind with how much time and energy I put into a video. A bit more inviting, but not a lot. Well, thank you. Yeah, 45 minutes is definitely quicker than most other videos go. The bumper video for the scroll with the phone and all that looks pretty simple, but even that took like 4 or 5 hours to make, and that was after I had already made the title slide, which was another couple hours to create. So it takes a lot of time, but I think it helps. Gets people interested, helps your memory. I think it's inviting because the curiosity of this video is coming from a church would be intriguing. That's fair. Like I said, I already have a few friends that were begging me to beg you to have Insomnia this year. Well, perfect. You can tell them March 11th. Part of what we're going to do is put on the website for the event. We always put a website together. But when we put the event website together, we're also going to put a rain date. In case COVID numbers are high and we need to push it back, or a bunch of volunteers get sick, or something along those lines, where instead of canceling outright, we'll have a backup plan in place so everybody knows if it doesn't happen on this day, it'll happen on this day, unless it has to get canceled then too. But we're trying to keep it fluid and keep it going however we need to. Doesn't look simple to me. Fair enough. I need to relook over my friends list and see who I can invite. Absolutely. Like I said, be thinking about who you can invite. I'll mention here with a couple people watching that one of our plans is to put together flyers, posters, and postcards of the event, so that if you don't know of anybody in your life, you can still hand out things, or you can go to local businesses in your town and ask if you can put up a flyer. A lot of businesses will allow that. So if you don't personally know any lost people, or anyone's welcome to come. Don't think you can only invite lost people, but that's primarily what we're focusing on. If you don't know anybody to invite, we are going to try to come up with a couple different ways that you can still help invite people, even if you don't know someone directly. So that's a couple things that we're going to try to do between now and Insomnia, is come up with like posters and flyers and encourage teens to go to local businesses in their town and ask them if they can hang up a flyer so that someone else happens to be going to Panera. A teen can see there's something for me going on nearby, and then they can go to the church website or go to the event website and learn more about it, that kind of thing. We want to try to get connected as much as we can with the people around us. Yes, you can only invite teens. That's anyone from 7th grade to 12th grade or the age equivalent. There's some people that graduate early or are behind a little bit, but the age equivalent of 7th through 12th grade is what we're looking for. It takes so much longer than you'd think. Absolutely. So the rule of thumb, even for professionals, when it comes to editing videos, which is slightly different than what you're talking about, but when you edit videos, the rule of thumb is 1 hour for 1 minute. So you want 1 minute of final product, it's going to take you an hour of just editing. That doesn't include like the assembly or color grading, that kind of thing. It's literally just an hour of editing for 1 minute of video. That's a lot. When it comes to slides and it comes to title slides and like that kind of thing, that can take a while too. I don't know how many people in Pepperell will want to go to Merrimack, New Hampshire, but that's the thing, Noel. You're in Pepperell and you go to Merrimack, New Hampshire. You don't know how many other yous there are in your town. You never know. Turns out that when Gabrielle said, I declare it worked, Dan. Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. Oh, Gabrielle, were you here the whole time? I didn't see your name before. Gabrielle, you should go back and watch the promo video for it. Get even more hyped. I am very thankful for all of the adult volunteers that have agreed to help already. One of the things that we were praying about was we said we need at least 8 overnight helpers to do Insomnia. Less than that, it just wouldn't be responsible. So we're hoping for like 100 teens. So we said at least 8 volunteers besides Alana and me. So 10 altogether. So that equals about a 1-to-10 ratio for leader to student. And we said that has to happen by Christmas. There's just no way for us to pull it together faster than that if we can't get help in time. And the Lord put it on people's hearts and brought people to us that were willing to help out. And I'm very thankful for that. Now it's going to be looking for all the other helpers, because that's like just chaperoning. There's also setup and tear down, putting stuff away, cleaning. There's cooking breakfast, bringing in food. There's taking care of pizza in the middle of the night. There's a lot of other jobs that we're also going to need to fill. So be talking with the adults in your life and say, I'm very excited about Insomnia. I have people that want to come to Insomnia. They need helpers. Will you please help? That would be a big help to me if you're willing to do that. I have a lot of experience in editing using LumaFusion. I've not heard of LumaFusion. I got training in college in a class on filmmaking on Final Cut. And primarily now I will use Premiere Pro, Adobe. I use the Adobe suite for everything. I'll constantly use Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, and Premiere. Those 4 I'm just always using. On my phone, if I'm trying to edit something quick, I will use Video Leap. Enlight Video Leap or something like that. Video Leap has been my favorite. Super easy if I'm just trying to edit something really quickly. And then if I'm looking for a quick image, I'll use Canva. Canva is a great free software that's all online. You don't have to download anything. You just register and then you can create great looking stuff very quickly. So should it be a yearly thing where we declare Insomnia? That must be it. She slacked and was off hanging with friends during youth group. Oh no, George, say it isn't so. Unbelievable. I'm going to get your churros and then go all the way back to the live stream beginning and watch all the way through. You got to catch it all. It's good stuff. I was praying for Insomnia to happen. Well, your prayers have come true. There's still a lot of praying that needs to get done, because if the numbers now for COVID are the way they are now later, that was a confusing sentence, but I think you got it. If the numbers stay high, we're going to have to get very creative about appropriate ways of doing it. And it may have to be like a small groups do stuff together and not any big group stuff. If the numbers go down and we see some stability, people are healthier and less infection going on, then it can be more like it used to be. So, as far as I can tell, unless things get really bad and everybody gets sick and we just have to cancel both times, we're going to have something overnight, Lord willing. What it exactly looks like is still a little bit up in the air, so definitely be praying about that. You use the Video Shop app. Oh, okay. Video Shop. I was trying to think, there's another one. I think it's by Filmora, or the program is Filmora. That was pretty good too. I think that was free with a watermark. iMovie, if you have a Mac or an iPhone, is pretty good too. I like iMovie. But my favorite is Premiere and After Effects. I made, and you're not really supposed to do it this way, but I made the whole thing for the scroll in After Effects. And then for the editing of the Insomnia video, I used Premiere. Thank you for your prayers, Noel. Everybody too. All right, I'm starting to lose my voice, and I think it's dinner time. I'm thirsty too, but not thirsty enough to drink this. So, I guess if Noelle is still watching, this is going to be very confusing to her. Or not Noelle, Gabrielle. It even has like hair sticking out of it now. That is gross. That's what matters, Noelle. It's not the best, but it's good enough for what I use it for. That's what you need. You don't need all the bells and whistles if you're not going to use all the bells and whistles. You just need good enough for what you need it for. The only reason I'm able to use Adobe is because the church is able to have a subscription for it. I would not be able to afford it on my own. It's ridiculously expensive. But I'm very grateful that I get to work for a church that is able to have an Adobe license, and I'm able to use it and continue to hone my skills and get better at it. It's a lot of fun being able to put it together, and I'm hoping it helps you guys with remembering our different series or being excited for them, being able to share it with somebody else and them being able to see that it's quality. I have a general principle in my mind that the quality of the graphics helps reinforce the quality of the content. That if something looks trashy, most of us are going to assume that also is true of the lesson. So I try to make good looking graphics to reinforce this is important and try to catch attention, because what I'm competing against is all the different things that you could find on YouTube. It would be very easy for any of you to click anywhere else and find better content. But I try to make it as good as I can to try to get your attention, hold your attention, and help you spend some time looking at scripture. Speaking of prayer, if there's something I can be praying about, let me know. If you don't want to say it publicly, you can always email me, and I'd be happy to be praying about it. Somebody called me earlier today and asked for some prayer, and I've been praying for them throughout the day. Actually, pretty regularly throughout my day, I get texts and calls from people asking for prayer, and it's one of my favorite things that I get to do for people. So if you ever have something you want me to pray about, let me know, and I'd be happy to pray about it for you. But I think that's going to have to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you again for putting up with all the technical difficulties. Thank you for chatting in the live chat. Thank you for being here. If for some reason you're listening to this and it's sometime later, thank you for getting to this part even without the chat. It's been great to be able to be here with everyone. What's up, Sonia? You said no, Dan. No what? Before I go. This is the last thing I'll say, so make it good. Going once. Going twice. No more smoothie for you. Do you like churros? Yes, I love churros. I had a churro cookie from a cookie place recently, and it might be my new favorite cookie of all time. I love churros. It's no Is not a question or a statement. I don't know. Okay. Have a wonderful night, everybody. I will see you on Sunday for Teen Sunday School. I didn't see your question before. Did you ask before if I like churros? Wild. Isn't that just no? No, it is not a snickerdoodle. It was so much more than a snickerdoodle. It was very good. Would recommend. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Take care. See you at Teen Sunday School this Sunday and then next Wednesday for Teen Life in person. Take care.